thanks for what you do with your podcast and all the rest. You're doing a great job. Hope everybody keeps tuning in. You get a lot of good info, a lot of insights, understandings of how to get strong, how to stay strong, how to use your strength.
You do a great job, dude. You make things better than they are in real life, I think.
If you don't follow Massenomics, y'all do it. Social media, website, everything.
Massenomics.
Welcome back to episode 217 of the Massenomics podcast. We're the lifting podcast about nothing. Tommy, I wanted to ask you, what's up?
Thank you for taking me back to 99.
I kind of was hoping that this will make a comeback.
Everything from the 90s is cool again, so it probably will.
Why wouldn't Bud Light commercials be in that same category?
Didn't they also do that on Scary Movie? I think in the first Scary Movie, there's a scene where the whole time, even like the killer in the Scream mask starts doing it too.
Yeah. That's when. Are you so in Scary? Okay, so Scary Movie was the spoof movie about like Scream, and I know what you did last summer. Yeah.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's when movies were movies.
That's when you could make comedy movies.
Yeah.
Can't do that anymore for some reason.
No. Before we get too far, let's hear from our sponsors for today's episode. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners, because you're special, can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Today's show is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. This episode is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method, your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training related, nutrition and body composition related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hand possible. Use our discount code MASS, M-A-S-S, in all caps for 5% off any training or nutrition memberships for the life of your membership. Visit hybridperformancemethod.com. Today's show is also brought to you by Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bar possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, Massenomics, national Massenomics, international, and world powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars visit texaspowerbars.com. Those are our sponsors for episode 217. Here we are at 217 already.
217. God, wasn't that long ago? We were hyped on 200.
No, and now we're gonna be at 300 at the blink of an eye here.
But there is a 200 that we still are hyped on, though, Tanner.
That is exactly right. The biggest 200 of them all.
The only 200 that matters. And our regular listeners know we are referring to the Road to 200 podcast reviews.
Right.
New listeners are probably wondering, why does that matter? Well, it's because it's the only thing that matters.
It really is the only thing that matters. And we really can't spoil any surprises at this time. We have talked about how important this Road to 200 is, how important that number is. And we've talked about some of the uniquely special things that happen at once we hit that number. We do have another thing that's going to happen once we get there. We cannot spoil the surprise at this point.
It's not just symbolic. There is actually something that will happen when we get to 200.
And it's big. And when I say it's big, I literally mean it is big. It is going to be big. Very big.
I can't even add any more, Tanner, because you said it exactly.
And which sounds funny and sounds like we're continuing this joke that we've been going on with about a month. But it's actually very true. There is something very, very big that's coming because of it.
So tempt us. I dare you.
Yes.
And see what happens.
But we've got to get to 200 in order to do it. And I really hope you guys help us get there. because of how important 200 is just on the just because it's 200, but B, I'm also now excited for what we're going to do when we get there. I can't I'm not going to be able to continue to wait very much longer for this.
Me either. I'm really excited for it.
Because it's gonna be so big. Yeah. I mean, that's the big. If there's one word I could use to describe what we're gonna do, you know what it would be?
Probably big. Would be my
yes,
best guess.
Yes, it's going to be big. So I guess that we covered that part of it, but we've got to talk about actually the progress we made on the road to 200. Do you remember the number of last week? I do remember.
Was it 176?
177 we were at last week. So the last 2 weeks we jumped up, I think, about 8 each week, which is very good. You know, those were pretty incredible jumps. So kudos to those two weeks of people. This week, I'm worried, Tommy. You know, I'm worried that people are getting complacent and starting to let things slip.
Are we stalling out here?
They are flattening the curve on our
this
podcast
is the wrong
reviews.
curve to flatten.
Yes, they are not flattening the correct curve. We're down to 5 new reviews this week, so we are up to 182. Still good. I don't want to get too negative on it.
You just get used to feasting on those 8 review weeks. That
yeah, when you go back down to 5, it's like 5. Like, where's those 3 other ones we're missing out on now?
Mm-hmm.
So we are at 182. If my math serves correct, we're 18 shy of 200.
God, that could be one really good week or two decent weeks.
We need this week. Like, I've got to put my foot down. This is the week you've got to do it. I know there's people listening right now that have just continually thought week after week, like, I want them to get to 200 because I want to see what happens at 200, but other people will pick up the slack for me. I don't actually need to go and leave a review. I know someone else is going to do it.
The whole my vote doesn't count thing, right?
Exactly. And that is the wrong mentality. We need you this week to go out there and leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. You could be the one. And at this point, it is getting close enough. You could be the number 200.
Exactly. And I don't want to wait for the surprise any longer. I'm too excited for it. So
no, this is a call to action that we really need you to. You don't even actually have to get off your ass. You're probably already have your phone, like, it's probably if it's not in your hand, literally, you can look down and see it right now. Pick it up, go to Apple Podcasts, and leave Massenomics Podcast a 5-star review.
That's all you need to do.
That's about it.
You summed it up there, Tanner.
That's it. Okay, so we do have a few reviews to read from this last week, and the people that did leave reviews did not disappoint. Everyone always does a great job on those, and this week is no different than that. First review here. This is a 5-star review, just like we like, and it's titled "The Best Podcast About Nothing," and it's from Lifter42, and they say, "Big lifts, LaCroix tasting, and understandings of how to get strong. No matter what you come for, the boys from Aberdeen will keep you entertained. Been listening now for a few years, and I'm never disappointed. Give these guys a listen."
Right to the point.
Yep. Nothing but the facts there. Next one is from Stinson, and title is Road to 200, 5 stars. And they say, "Good podcast, get them to 200 reviews," with a flexing emoji.
That guy gets it.
Yes, there you go. Stinson is echoing our sentiment. Get them to 200 reviews. He knows what's at stake here.
Down for the cause.
Yes. Okay, next one is a 5-star review, and it is titled "The Best Ducking Podcast." Of course, another reference to overrated, underrated topic of autocorrect, correct?
I believe so.
Okay, and this is from C. Molenkamp, and I actually pretty sure I know who this is. This is the president of Sioux Falls, I think. So
we go over really well with state figures, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do. City presidents, state presidents, they're all in. And he says, "Whether cracking some crispy boys or ripping a Jefferson deadlift, the Massenomics podcast will teach you how to get strong, how to stay strong, and how to use your strength."
Awesome.
The Kaz quote, never a wrong time for that. Okay, last one for this week is a 5-star review. It's titled Good Podcast, and it is from One Wordy. How do you feel about it just being titled Good Podcast?
Do you need any more words, really?
Yeah, it kind of says it all with
There's
those
a few
two
things
words.
that good describes pretty well. Our podcast, McDonald's apple pies. You would use good describes it perfectly.
Yeah. Warm LaCroix.
Warm LaCroix.
Hot, actually, hot.
Yeah, hot.
Okay. And he says, I enjoy hearing a lifting podcast about nothing on Mondays while I struggle to get through work. Listen to the podcast if you want to have an entertaining time. Also, they talk about the lift shorts a lot, so you can feel like a rich person without actually having the money for said lift shorts.
Financial tip there.
Yep, that is a savvy tip. For those of you that can't afford them, you can at least listen to us talk about them.
The next best thing.
Yes.
So we are very appreciative of those reviews. Everyone tell a friend this week. We got to get those. What's it? What'd you say? 18, 16?
18 more is what we need.
We got to get those 18 more in there.
God, if we could get that in 1 week, that would be outstanding.
Apple would probably put us on like the up and coming charts for all the reviews we're getting in. Like 18 reviews in 1 week. No one's ever done that before.
That would be not just a Massenomics record. That would be a podcasting record. They'd be like, the brightest minds at Apple Podcasts would be like, my God, what is, like, there'd be a buzz around the whole office. Like, have you seen this
they
podcast?
Got 18 people to figure out how to fill out a review form in 1 week.
It'd be like, are these guys close to 200 or something? Or what's going on here?
Tim Cook better call them and invite them over here. Figure out what they're on to.
So is that about it? Does that wrap up our road to 200 for today? I mean,
I think that is our road to 200. That's everything we got.
If I could cap it off with one more thing today, I would say what we have planned for when we get there is big. So
again, we cannot understate the bigness of what is planned here. It might have been a little vague before. Now we're
getting. Yeah, but also much less vague, but also yet still very vague.
But it is big, so.
Yeah. As we're talking about podcasts, you can probably fill in the details. This is one of those segments where I almost don't know anything about it, but I try to explain it enough that, and I'm guessing you probably do know, and you'll be able to tell what I'm getting at.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about. We've done this before.
Oh yeah. We just throw a topic out there and we just riff on it, you know?
Yeah, we should have a name for that segment, though, where I don't really know what I'm talking about, and I just try to describe it poorly, and you figure it out.
Tanner describes things.
Poorly. That he doesn't know about.
Tanner describes things not very goodly.
Yes. Okay, so that's what this is. And we're talking about podcasts. So I heard something, have no idea where I heard it, about a podcast about two women, that it's become like one of the most popular podcasts if it hasn't like exceeded Joe Rogan's, at least temporarily.
Oh,
and it's these two girls that like...
Is it the like call her daddy podcast?
Yes. Do you know anything about this?
I have just in like across the internet, or maybe even in like Spotify one day, they had it on like their top podcast charts. I know I've heard of it. I know it exists, and I don't know a thing about it. I did see that they were in some headlines, and I don't know what it was for. Do you?
I think the two girls, the two hosts of the show, they all of a sudden started bringing in a ton of money because they got wildly popular. Mm-hmm. And there was an issue of one of the girls thinking that she should get more of it than the other. And we're talking millions of dollars from the very barely bit I don't even understand, but there's millions of dollars at stake. And I heard something about one thinking it should be 60-40, and the other thinking it should be 50-50, and they couldn't come to terms. And maybe one of them's just continuing the show without the other then. But do you know anything about the premise of the show at all?
I don't really, but this says, two girls, they started the podcast in which they discuss sex and dating in 2018, and it was quickly acquired by Barstool Sports and became an immediate success. So
the little bit I heard, it's almost like they talk I don't know how to say it, like to not sound sexist or something, but like they talk guy talk.
Yeah,
but
I think that's what it's like.
Yeah,
Used to how more dudes are.
yeah,
things,
right.
Yeah, maybe I get the impression it's maybe like, hey, we're just being bros and just talking about stuff that in the past
you
people would
normally
be like,
don't
this
hear.
is taboo for women to talk.
Right,
like this.
right. Yes. That's
But
right.
I have not listened to it at all. So
No. I can't picture myself. Would you ever listen to that?
no, I mean, I don't. I have enough other podcasts that I struggle to listen to that I'm not interested enough. I'm sure they're. I mean, I would hope they're at least good and entertaining at what they do if they're making that much money. And
They must be.
I would imagine they are. I don't think you're getting that far, like just completely on looks in a medium that's based on sound. So
Yeah,
I
still
would
probably
imagine,
doesn't. It probably still doesn't hurt though. Somehow, just like it.
Yeah,
Still,
I'm sure. But I don't think I'll probably put it on my list anytime soon.
Yeah, me either. But that was it. That you succeeded at the game. You did know the name of it.
I got it filled in good enough.
Yes.
One other podcast thing, Tanner, is we've had some podcast mentions lately here.
Where
Do you
we've
know what-
been.
Do you know what that's about?
Yeah, Massenomics podcast, or maybe just Massenomics in general, has been popping up on other podcasts, which that's exciting. I always like to hear that, whether I come across it myself or whether someone tips me off on it and then I have to go listen to the whole thing just because I know that we're involved.
So was it the Call Her Daddy podcast? Is that where we?
That's where this all comes full circle. They were talking about us on the Call Her Daddy podcast. Had really good things to say.
It's how to get strong, stay strong, use your strength. The usual.
So the two that I'm thinking of here that we popped up on is the first one is the Let's Get Stupid podcast, and that is with our friends Mr. Tom Finn and Tom Callis,
the one and only.
Yeah, the two one and only.
The two one and onlys. Yeah.
And I did listen to the full episode, and they talked about us a couple times. The first thing that they were talking about is when Jacked and Homeless, Scuba Steve, when he came and visited Massenomics Gym. This is about 3 or 4 years ago now. The late Jacked and Homeless, rest in peace.
Mm-hmm.
He came to our gym. He drove over the road trucker.
Yeah, drove way out of the way. And when we say way, like hundreds and hundreds of miles out of the way.
Yeah, to come to get a bench in that day.
Counting the workout, it was probably what, 8 or 9 hour detour?
Yes. I would say that's safe to say. And they were just talking about how much he loved that because we treated him basically like he was a rock star, and like we had him sign the banner on the wall and everything, and he just loved it. And he talked about that I think many times in the rest of his life there. He brought that up a lot.
And then we sent a singlet to him too. Right?
Yeah. He had his very own Jacked and Homeless singlet. We've talked to Huck Finn about that since then, about where that singlet is now. And he said that, I think if I remember right, he said, it's in the family still. And, if they've got something good to do with it, that's good. But I have told him, like, if it's just sitting around or something, I would like to get it put it in a frame and hang it up on the wall, which would be pretty badass. So maybe someday we'll look at doing that still. But
that'd be really cool.
If they've got a good home for it, we'll of course just let it keep being where it's at. But that is something that I've thought of before. So that was the big thing. Then there was also they talked about us at the end of the show too a little bit, and it's been a while since I listened. I can't really remember, but that was the big thing, talking about that trip and then how they were wanting to come out here sometime, which would be fun.
Yeah, it would be.
Yeah.
That makes me laugh just thinking about that.
Yeah. Yes. And then the other show that we popped up on was Matt Vincent's podcast. He had Ls Mcclain on the show, USAPL powerlifter, And LS is a fan of Massenomics. He follows us
frequent
pretty close.
commenter
Yeah.
on a lot of Massenomics posts.
Yeah, he really gets a kick out of some of the humor on some of the stuff we
he
do.
does.
And they were talking about this was actually great. I should send this to you so you can listen to this too, Tommy. And for anyone listening, I don't know what episode number it is, but look on the UMSO podcast, and it's the interview with Ls Mcclain. I think they were actually at the Arnold for the interview, but they were talking about our lift shorts marketing.
Really?
Yes. It's they were talking about selling clothing, because Matt has Hate Brand Goods, of course, and then LS has his own company that he does something similar with. And I think LS first mentioned something, laughed about what we were doing with lift shorts, and they went into a little bit, and Matt goes, do you know how that started? How that lift shorts being expensive thing started? And Matt kind of knew the story, and he said, he's like, some dude on Instagram made fun of them for that their shorts were too expensive. And he even talked about how they are relatively similarly priced to other shorts.
Yep.
He's like, and they just ran with it. And turned it into this thing.
And boy, they are really good at not quitting on things. So
We will not give up.
And the rest was history.
Yep. That was it. Those were the two mentions. If anyone's aware of any others recently out in the podcast world, let us know so we can listen to them and talk about them on our podcast.
Yeah, we would love to discuss it in depth.
Yes.
Cool. I got to do my weekly check-in, Tanner. Have you watched The Last Dance yet?
Watched it, finished it.
Oh, that was pretty quick.
Binged it, loved it.
Yeah, you would approve?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew I was going to like it going in. I would have been just absolutely shocked had I not liked it.
Yeah.
And I haven't binged anything for a while, but I binged that because I was really excited. Best part was I didn't have to pay for anything. I just went on my Roku. I went to the ESPN app, and as it was coming out new, I couldn't watch them, but for some reason I could watch them now. Yeah, and nice. I don't think as far as I understand, I don't think we're paying for any service of any kind. We don't have cable or anything else, but it just works. So insider tip, I guess.
Cool.
Just go to it, and it's apparently free. But it was so good. I loved it.
Anything that really stood out to you or surprised you that you didn't know?
What stood out to me that I did not know, I suppose I wasn't old enough to be privy to it at the time, is that how willing Michael Jordan would have potentially been to continue playing after that 6th championship, that it wasn't how the reasons why he went out, and how annoyed I am now that they screwed it up, that we could have continued to watch him play there for maybe 5 more years
at a high level
if they wouldn't have completely fucked it all up. Yeah. Because let's see, after the Bulls won, I think is maybe when the Spurs won. They won David Robinson and Tim Duncan won his first. I think they won the next year. Just thinking out in my head, they probably could have beat that team. He could have won a 7th championship. And what makes me even more excited or more disappointed is after that, then that's when Shaq and Kobe were together and started their championship run. And we could have potentially seen Shaq and Kobe play against MJ in the finals. At that point, it would have been the very back end of MJ's career.
Yeah, because I'm looking here at the Bulls. So the Bulls had it in 98, the Spurs had it in 99, and then the Lakers had their three-peat. Yeah. Then the Spurs, Lakers, Spurs, Mavs, Spurs, Lakers.
Right. So that first three-peat of the Lakers, Michael would have, of course, been backsliding at that point, no doubt. Yep. He'd been getting close to 40 and everything, but it's possible. But the only one of the holes in that theory, though, is that Phil Jackson was also then the coach of the Lakers. Yes, so Phil Jackson could not have, unfortunately, coached both of those teams. But that was long story short, is just how disappointing it was to me that his run was over then, and when it could have just kept going.
It sure seemed like it, didn't it?
Yeah, yeah. And I would say, I don't know if I've said this, I am not at the time I was not a Michael Jordan fan. I cheered very much against Michael Jordan all the time. I was a Shaquille O'Neal fan from the day I liked basketball, and when he was with the Magic, I really cheered for them against the Bulls, and I, cheered against the Bulls with 75% of my friends that were all Bulls fans, so I was kind of polarized against them. But all that being said, I don't care. He's so good, and it's so entertaining that you'd be crazy not to appreciate him.
Oh,
and,
yeah, especially in retrospect, like looking back.
Yes,
on all of it,
especially
like,
looking back. Yeah.
Yes, like some people are really, really, really on a different level.
Yes. And I think, we probably have a bunch of listeners that don't care about basketball, because I don't think everyone cares about every sport, and not everyone cares about basketball. But I still think it's a pretty good documentary if you like sports. Even if you don't care about basketball, if you just like sports, you would be hard pressed to not enjoy that documentary.
Just if you want to see like how the highest level people think and assess situations, like that's,
yes.
I mean, that's probably to me the biggest part of it. Just seeing like, oh man, that is really how that guy's brain works.
Yeah, and that's what his brain works is a good point. I think mentally he was on a different level than probably really mostly anyone is on in that sport, especially. And I don't really care for all the debate about who's the best ever and all that stuff, which everyone does. But I'm like, I kind of already had my opinions on that to begin with, but after watching that, like, I still don't really think, even though I just did not cheer for him, I don't think anyone compares to Michael Jordan on a number of levels. He's just kind of on a level of his own in a lot of ways.
Yeah, just a really unique period in time too.
Yeah,
things were really starting to blow up. Social media wasn't around yet, but it was just this perfect storm of and he's who you get out of it. But yeah, it was. And
he does. It seems like after watching it, it's like, man, how cool would it have been to be his buddy back then? Like, how fun would have things have been? Like, because he is like also just pretty cool.
Oh, you can tell. Like it seems like the closer things get to game time, like the looser he gets. Like it's just like, oh, you can tell like around game time, during, after, he is like just like ripping on people, having the time of his life. Like, he's having a great time.
Yeah. Those are some of my takeaways. I strongly recommend it. That's for sure. I wish there was more episodes of it to watch, really.
So you would give it a solid 5 JD Power and Associates award?
I would give it 5 JD Power and Associates awards, and that's
and we don't just give those things away willy-nilly over here.
No, let's see. Have we hit all of our? So we hit Lift Shorts, we hit JD Power and Associates awards. We hit the road to 200. I just want to make sure we get in all of our.
Well, we haven't talked about apple pies yet. Really.
Oh, I know. That's actually the part that's concerning me the most. Is there something with the rest of the topics we have for the day where apple pies can be fit in somewhere?
Oh, we still got a good half hour left, so I don't doubt it.
Okay, good.
But I think we are going to hop into some ads here, though.
Okay, and I've got a story for once we finish with ads. I've got
don't leave if you only listen through the first ad break. Don't leave because Tanner has a story. So stay tuned, everyone.
It may or may not involve McDonald's apple pie. TBD.
Even better. All right, today's show is brought to you by Texas Power Bars. Buddy Capps first started lifting weights in the late 60s and began powerlifting in the mid-70s. At the time, he was working for Image Barbell building gym equipment. Around 1976, a local machine shop started making Olympic bars for them, calling it the Image Bar. In 1977, Image Barbell became Champion Barbell. It was then that Buddy started looking at the bars with an intent of changing them for the better. In 1979, Buddy bought his first lathe and began addressing the known issues. In 1980, his passion, drive, and purpose now had a greater mission. I can't read today. Buddy set out on his own to make what he believed was the greatest bar he had ever seen and trained with, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It was strong as a house with the best knurling and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, Massenomics, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com. It just makes me giggle thinking about, we did have somebody comment today that they enjoy that ad because it gives them the whole history of the Texas Power Bar Company, and they are right.
Yeah, you get a pretty good
lesson.
summarized history, yes, of where the Texas Power Bar was actually born from.
Today's episode was also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. If you've been training without a coach and have been looking for a competitive edge, remember to check out hybridperformancemethod.com. Hybrid has 15 different strength and fitness programs covering everything from powerlifting and strongman to gymnastics and general fitness, all included in one training membership. That's not all. Hybrid also offers one-on-one personalized nutrition coaching that uses lifestyle habits and a flexible approach to shape your nutrition plan around your current lifestyle, instead of turning your lifestyle upside down in order to support unsustainable habits that only work in the short run the way most programs do. If you're ready to take your training, nutrition, or both to the next level, use code MASS, that's MASS, in all caps for 5% off membership to all programs for the life of your membership. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. and the Lat Saw and Cable Strap. The Spud Inc. Lat Saw is a new level of back mutilation. This medieval-looking tool is designed to work your lats in various 1-inch increments. Get a great back workout or challenge your training partner to a medieval sword fight with the Lat Saw. Either one, the choice is yours. Check out the Spud Inc. Lat Saw online at spud-inc-straps.com. And finally, today's show is also brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large sets the new standard for customer service within the strength world. Get email responses in hours, not days. They now have live website chat support available during the weekdays, so you can get advice from a real powerlifter with actual platform experience. The Lifting Large team wants to help you achieve new PRs in the gym and on the competition stage. When you're ready to try single ply and make your way to the dark side, give them a call. Lifting Large is home to the Ground Lock deadlift slipper, and it's always in stock and always ready to ship. Massenomics listeners can save 20% on all Lifting Large branded products by using discount code MASS20 at checkout. That's MASS20 to save 20% on all Lifting Large branded items. Place your orders at liftinglarge.com, and you can follow them on Instagram at liftinglarge.com. That's liftinglarge.com. Thank you to our sponsors.
Some top-notch sponsors, top-tier sponsors for sure.
Top tier, the best, the absolute best.
Yes.
So
Okay.
You left us with that cliffhanger, Tanner, and I really want to know the story.
And we're back. So the story. Let me preface this with saying we ship internationally from our merchandise at Massenomics. We ship it international. So any of our international listeners, feel free to hop on our website. That includes just about every. We've shipped to a lot of countries. How many countries would you guess we've shipped to? I don't know the number, but
I would guess at least 30.
I think 30 is a fair number. Like all the most common ones you would think of, and then a few
the common ones. You
yeah,
know?
right. And then
I think pretty much everywhere in Europe.
Yes,
a good chunk of Asia.
Yeah, I was gonna say a good chunk of Asia for sure.
South America and Africa are a little underrepresented.
Yes. Have we shipped any to those continents? Maybe has there been some to South America or not?
I'm just trying to think if we had like something to like Brazil.
Yeah,
or
that's what I'm
like
wondering.
That.
Yeah.
And I don't know about Africa for sure.
Yeah.
Also, the Middle East is kind of underrepresented too, but
yeah,
I don't blame them completely.
Yeah. Asia and Asia,
Europe and Asia, Europe and Asia are pretty solid.
Australia too.
Australia, yes. Antarctica is a little underrepresented too. Not a ton going down there.
Maybe not per capita. It's probably
per capita. They're probably doing okay.
Yeah, but we do ship a lot international. And did you happen to see one of the weird countries, or not weird, but one of the more unique countries that we had an order go out to this week at all?
It's not ringing a bell. I know as soon as you say it, I'll remember.
So it was the Philippines that we had one to.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure we've had orders go to the Philippines before.
Yeah, I thought we've had a few there.
Right. So in our normal shipping software that we use, I print the labels and we pay for the packaging.
At a ShipStation.
Yeah, ShipStation is what we use. and I went to
Pretty standard for most people in this business.
it's similar to what a lot of people use. I think there's other options, but it's what we use and what we know. The shipping rates can vary quite a bit on some things. We've shipped some stuff out before where all of a sudden like it just hits a certain weight or it's a certain country and shipping just gets wild.
Like where a couple ounces can like double or triple a price.
Yeah. And we're
or even a couple inches on packaging can double or triple price. So
and
something that was maybe $15 to ship is now like $45 or $50.
Yes, that happens. And this is even a crazier story than when that happened. So I went to put it into ShipStation, and it would not allow me to print anything of any. There was no quote available. No matter what form of shipping I would use, there was no options. So I went to the post office to ask them. I took it with and brought the address and said, "Can I ship this here? Like,
does this exist?
Like, what's going on here?" And it's because of COVID-19 that actually you cannot ship it to the Philippines right now through the United States Postal Service. It's sounds like that might change after into June here, that they'll lift that, but there's something right now you can't ship it through there. But they did inform me that you could still ship it there, but it has to go through FedEx. And we normally don't.
Is it like their national post office isn't taking packages?
Yes.
Is that basically what it is?
Right. That is, because I actually ended up talking to this customer about it, and that's what they said. But he said what he's hearing there is that at the end of this month that could change and they could start taking them again. But FedEx will get it there still if you want to. So I went to our local FedEx place, which have you ever do you have any idea where that's? I mean, we don't need to get into specifics on the podcast, but do you have any idea where that's at in our town?
Okay,
I did not.
Is the UPS depot, is that over by the post office over there? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yes.
Or is FedEx over there too?
No.
Okay, then I don't know where FedEx is.
No, it is in a very it's actually not that far off of main roads and stuff, but it's down a road I bet you've never been on in your life. I'd be willing to
probably
bet.
not.
And I've never noticed this building in my life, and very very much kind of a dump. I was like, man, is this really it? Anyways, I go in there and bring the package to them. And this for reference, this package is a shirt, a tank top, and 2 pairs of shorts, I think is what's in there. It weighs about 2 pounds. It's the size of a textbook, basically, is what this package is going out, a little thicker than that. Mm-hmm. And the lady asked me, "Do you want to know any quotes, or did you just want to ship it?" Because I kind of just walked in saying, "I need to ship this here," and they said you could do it. Like, let's get it shipped. And she asked, like, "Well, do you want any quotes first?" And I was like, my response is, "Well, I guess it wouldn't be bad to know. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to send it because I need to get it sent, and I just don't want to mess with this. Like, by this time, I already put way too much time into this one.
Yep, I've
come
too far.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't care if we even lose some money here. I just want to get this shipped. So I say, yeah, you can. I guess you can tell me. It wouldn't hurt to know what it's going to cost. And she goes, "All right, that'd be $135." And I kind of like, I smirked or chuckled, and I was like, "Is there any other choices?" Like, different. Maybe like a slow, like, can you put it on a boat and charge me less or something?
Yeah.
And she goes, "Well, there's more expensive options." And I was like,
wrong answer.
Yeah. So then I said, "Oh, I guess I'll wait for now on that." And that's when I contacted the customer, and we're going to wait until he was very understanding and, agreed that would be completely insane. And we're going to wait to see if what the post office does here.
That is crazy. $135.
Yeah. At least probably 5 times as much what it'll cost through the post office.
Yeah.
Would you have ever guessed that? I guess maybe that shouldn't be crazy.
I thought you were going to say like 70. Like, oh, this is crazy. I thought you were going to say 70.
Well, and I was prepared in my head for them to say 50. And like for me to not get annoyed by 50 and be like, well, I just want to get this done at $50, whatever. Mm-hmm. That was my number in my head. Like you said, what 70 was for you, where you're
The only reason I said 70 is because you said, "Oh, it's way more."
Yeah,
So that's
right.
Because that wouldn't have been my first guess.
Right. So I tried to mentally prepare myself for this high number, and I was like, anything under $50, we'll just send it, and like I'm not going to be annoyed by that. And when she said 135, I'm like, you just like tripled my really high expectation, you know?
Yeah.
Like you just completely blew it out of the water.
Yeah, that is a lot.
So the moral of that story is, if you are from the Philippines, don't order anything for the rest of this month.
Just hold off for a minute.
Yes. We still offer international shipping, but if you do live in the Philippines, just wait a second.
Yep. One thing interesting that popped up today, Tanner, this is on the cutting edge of lifting equipment, is it looks like Pioneer has a pretty cool new lever design coming out.
Yeah, you call that an adjustable lever design? Is that what you would say?
Yeah, I don't know what their technical term is, but that's how I would describe it, an adjustable lever. Pretty similar in concept to SBD's.
Yeah.
What's their like $250 belt or whatever it is.
Right.
That is theirs, you have multiple holes to put your lever in? Is that what it is?
I think so. Quite honestly, I don't know. I think
it's been a while since I've even looked at it, but I think that's what it is. It's your standard lever belt has just one set of holes you put the lever into.
Right.
I believe the SBD one has multiple, and I think Matt's always, I mean, there's probably a patent too, but he's always said that like, all right, that's their design. We're not doing that. They have that, whether that's his choice or a legal thing. I'm not sure completely there, but it looks like he has came up with an option to offer a similar product to customers. Mm-hmm. And I didn't get a good look. He posted on Instagram today. I didn't get a good look at it, but it looks like it is a lever that latches into another
piece of metal.
So it's not the belt.
Right.
And it's not, whereas the SBD one, you probably have 10 inches of adjustability to work with. I think he said this one offers like 2 or 3 inches of it gives you a range.
Right.
But for most people, 2 or 3 inches is all you need, unless you're doing some major weight fluctuations.
I've always said anything more than 2 or 3 inches is a waste.
Like most people say, 2 or 3 is all you need, right?
Yeah.
So I think it looks like this would take care of the problem. And probably the best part of this whole thing is that according to what he said, this is compatible with all lever belts.
That's what I really thought was cool, that all you would need, it's, what do they call that in video games when you can play them on the...
Backwards compatible,
It's backwards compatible. So I have a belt with a custom Pioneer lever. That means I could buy this new lever and it would work on my belt, right?
And that's an Inzer belt too, isn't it?
It is actually, yes.
Yeah.
But if
it's pretty old,
right? But if the lever works, I mean, it's a Pioneer lever, so that I assume that means it works. How? I'm just thinking out loud here, because there is, on a normal lever belt, a normal Pioneer or Inzer, on the side, not the side with the lever, but the other side that has the 4 holes that the prongs go into, there is no piece of metal there now existing. So if it is reverse compatible, it must use those 4 holes. I'm
assuming that's what it does. Yeah. That it probably puts something on the front where it can,
and it has screws in the backside, just like the lever side does.
Yep. That would make the most sense to me.
Yeah. It almost looked like teeth, kind of, is how I would describe it.
I think that's a pretty good way. To think it out, is it's basically like teeth for your belt to grab onto. So
that is, it's cool.
It's a good idea, and it's almost like one of those things where it's like, how has no one came up with this before? Like it seems like this should have been done, but assuming it works expected, I could see him selling a lot of those things.
Yeah, and I can see why, because you also have a lever belt, and God knows nobody wants to change those. Like it's
such a pain.
Yeah, you go way longer than usually. You're like, all right, I should have changed it like 3 months ago, but I'll just finally change it now.
Yep, and I like my belt just slightly looser on deadlift, and so I never use my lever belt deadlifting. I use whatever single prong belt is laying around in the gym.
Yep,
because it's always way more comfortable. But now with this, really, I mean, we're talking like maybe an inch is the difference between me, where deadlift, where the belt feels good on deadlift and doesn't. And if this thing has 2 inches or more, that's more than enough. So that would be perfect.
Right. And I assume based on what I saw, they can adjust by half-inch measurements still, so it kind of keeps with his every half-inch matters thing on the Pioneer
exactly.
cut. Yeah. Makes sense.
So it's a cool product. I'm excited to see this thing out in the wild and see if it lives up to the hype that we've just created for it.
Right. We probably just sold thousands of them for him.
Yeah. We got to get on that Pioneer affiliate program, don't we?
Yeah, that Brandon Campbell, Alan Thrall money.
That's right. There was one strength accomplishment that took place. Was it this past weekend?
There was literally just one.
Just one. Like I'm not exaggerating when I say there was one accomplishment. That is an actual recap of the facts. Yeah. And that was Tom Stoltman broke the Atlas Stone record with a modest 631 pounds or 286 kilos for our international followers.
Yeah.
But God, 631 pound stone. Like, it wasn't that long ago. We were at the Arnold and Brian Shaw broke the record with like 550 pounds or something like that.
Yep.
And that record has been shattered over the course of just a few years.
Right. So Tom, I think, did the 600 at the Arnold this year to significantly break the record at the time, and now we bumped that up another 30 pounds already here in just a couple months later. And what did you think of the lift?
It didn't seem like he was struggling. I mean, it didn't seem easy, but I don't think that's his absolute max.
I don't think so either. I think he even said on there that the next goal is 300 kilograms, which would be 660 pounds.
That'd be
God,
cool.
It seems like if they would have had one there, he could have, it's a good chance he could have done it. I don't know. But I suppose it's in his better interest to continue to stretch this out over a few years and break it a few different times. Probably get a few different paydays out of it.
Don't break them all over the course of 6 months.
Right. Because after 660, then it's like, well, when is he going to do 700?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he did it.
He does seem to really be built well for lifting Atlas stones. Also for it just looks like his body type and how he's doing here that he's going to continue to make more noise in the not just Atlas stone lifting, but in the world of professional strongman in general. Like, I could see him being more of a contender, and the little bit I know about him, he does not seem like he's far off of being like a podium guy at World's Strongest Man. Which,
do you know? I'm just trying to look here. Do you know how old he is?
I do not. I don't know which one of those two.
25. Actually, just popped up.
So there you go.
So pretty young still.
He's got 7 more years here to continue to get into his prime. 5 to 7 more years until he's really at that.
Actually, he does turn 26 on May 30th, so he will be screwed. He will be 26 here pretty soon. Yeah. So,
but he just seems like he has the body, the frame to be able to be one of those guys that can be really competitive across events.
Yeah, I think so. God, I didn't realize he's 6'8".
Yeah, right.
His brother Luke is 6'3". That's his brother, right?
Yep. And is he old? Is he older? Is Luke older?
Yeah, he's 35. This is all according to Wikipedia. So
considerably older.
Yeah. So Tom Stoltman, it's 6. I didn't realize he was 6'8". So 6'8", 342 pounds ish, 26 years old. I would say, barring any injuries, things are looking pretty good for him.
I think so too. I don't know what his next event will be that'll do the 660, but I imagine it wouldn't be too far down the road. I did think that overall as an event, it didn't seem very exciting to me.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Even as just an Instagram clip, it's not all that exciting. I don't know.
Yeah, well, there's no crowd. It's just like, yeah, I mean, it's cool. You're picking up a rock and putting it over a bar, but at the same time, you're picking up a rock and putting it over a bar. So
right, and
yeah,
I don't.
It's not the most visually appealing event.
I didn't have as much of that feeling with Thor's deadlift where I was like, oh, kind of boring for something that should be pretty exciting, but maybe there was just I don't know why that is, what the difference in the two is, because there's nobody there either. But it just felt really unexciting, watching the video. It just looked like a guy hanging out in his gym, and
Yeah, I think part of it is the stage, like
Yeah.
the presentation of the whole thing. And then, yeah, it just wasn't that hard for him. So it's
No.
like, oh, that's it.
Right. Yeah. So hopefully there's another 1 feat of strength the next week that we can cover again.
God, we need this. Come on, people.
Yes.
Someone do something.
Yes.
I think that's pretty much everything we had on the list this week, though, Tanner.
All right. Do you wanna play a game?
Oh, I love a good game.
Okay. Today's game is actually something called overrated, underrated. Are you familiar with the rules of overrated, underrated?
That's a really good game.
Yeah. Are you well versed in the rules?
Well, there's this druthers thing.
The druthers.
and-
I really wanted to make sure you're up on the druthers.
yeah, I think I have a rough idea.
Okay. Most
I
important.
could mess it
point-
up, but-
yeah, most important to remember is that you do have druthers. They're yours. Nobody can take those away from you. Don't let anyone take those away from you. If someone offers to buy them, don't sell them.
Don't sell the druthers.
Whatever
It's a
you
trap.
do, whatever you do, hang on to your druthers. Those are yours.
Okay, I will keep that in mind for this round.
Okay. Topic number 1 of overrated and underrated for episode 217 of the Massenomics podcast is fudge.
Fudge. Wow, I don't know the last time I had fudge. It's good. I think fudge is good. It's chocolate. Typically, I like chocolate. And as far as chocolate goes, it's probably doesn't get as much love as it should. So I think I got to say fudge is underrated.
Fudge is underrated. They make a lot of different flavors of fudge too. Would you just go with a traditional regular fudge?
I would go with a traditional chocolate of some variety. If there's nuts or something in it, I'll handle that. Fruit, no.
What about like if it's white instead of brown?
I could handle that. I'm okay with that.
Okay. It's really rich.
It is rich.
Something you wouldn't want to have. You don't want to have all that much of. I don't think.
Eat a whole pan of
I think there's a reason it comes in like tiny bites.
little squares.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah. So you said underrated?
I think it's underrated. Yeah.
Okay. Overrated or underrated? The television program How I Met Your Mother.
How I Met Your Mother. All right. I personally am not a fan of that show at all. I had some roommates that
loved
really
it.
liked that show.
Yeah.
And for years that show would be on and I could just not get into it. I don't particularly care for any of the actors on the show. Like just something about them. The characters, the way the characters are, they all just seem like boring people to me. And like really, it's also like that sitcom style. And I hate shows that are shot in that sitcom style. I can't do it. I think How I Met Your Mother is an overrated show.
So
like, I still get shocked when I hear people say they like that show.
Yeah. So you got to watch it quite a bit more than you even wanted to, and
Oh yeah. I've seen considerably more episodes than I would ever voluntarily want to watch. Didn't do a very good job paying attention ever, but yeah, I don't like the show. I do not like it, and I think it is overrated.
overrated on How I Met Your Mother. Mm-hmm. Okay. Topic number 3: overrated or underrated? 5G.
5G. So I am not a 5G expert by any means. There's quite a few people out there that are researching.
I was hoping
pretty
you
hard.
I was hoping you
on
could
the
tell me what it
internet.
even means.
Well, it's just a different radio spectrum.
Yeah.
I think the correct term is radio spectrum. That's how you transmit data. So, 4G uses one set of the radio frequencies. I'm probably doing a terrible job of explaining this, but the way I understand it is like, 3G uses this band of frequencies, 4G uses this band of frequencies, and now 5G has an additional band of frequencies that it can use to send data through the air. So the fact that like people are like trying to like tear down towers because they think it's causing like coronavirus or disease is pretty crazy, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. But with 5G, so the upsides of 5G is you can get like insanely fast speeds, like faster than probably anyone has for their home internet, unless you're paying for some like major home internet speed. But then with 5G, there's different ways to administer or to roll it out. And so like the different companies, I think it was like short band and long band 5G. I'm trying to look here. I don't know, but there's different methods of using it. And so like certain networks, I think like maybe Verizon, they're using the version of it that it doesn't go very far. So it has pretty bad coverage. Mm-hmm. But if you're close to the tower and buy it, it's like crazy fast.
Yeah.
Whereas someone like, I don't know, like I'm mixing these all up, but yeah, there's different ways. You can do like the not very far, but super, super fast, or broader range, but it's not quite as fast as the other way.
Right.
So overall, like in theory, yes, it should be a good thing because you are, right here, according to Wikipedia, high band 5G uses the frequencies of 25 to 39 gigahertz near the bottom of the millimeter wave band, although higher frequencies could be used in the future. So that's where it is the frequency that it transmits it. I personally, I want fast internet on my phone. I hate waiting for things. And then it's crazy that when I typed in 5G, people always ask, these are the questions that Google pops up. Will 5G be dangerous? Does 5G make you sick? What is in 5G? Like, so there's all this weird stuff going around that it's like going 5G? To like kill you and hurt you. I don't think that that's been actually scientifically proven. I think there's a lot of people that are using some really weird pseudoscience to say that it will, but I don't think there's actual real science behind it saying that it'll hurt you. So I think 5G is underrated.
Is there any limit to the number that they can put before the letter G? Like, will there eventually be a 6 and a 7? Like, is it just going to And also, what's preventing people, like, say the limit is 10? Why do we have to go through 6, 7, 8, and 9? Like, what's what prevents the technology from just going to the best one right away?
Well, I think it's the cost of having a modem that receives that frequency in your phone. So I think that's like right now is like everyone makes 4G modems to receive your 4G communications. And so 4G modems are cheap to make. Like, yeah, everyone makes them. They're a dime a dozen. But 5G, it's new technology. It's taking in new things. So I'm assuming it's much more expensive to produce that thing that receives it. Mm-hmm. It's the radio. So yeah, I'm just assuming that's what, and then on top of it too, is just the internet speed, like making things that can punch out. It says right here, whatever the gigabit or the gigabyte speed behind it. We just don't have internet that can pump out those speeds yet. So once we get faster internet, maybe there will be a 6G. I don't know what the limit is on it.
Right. It feels like one of those things that it's just always going to be one more. Like there'll just be a never-ending numbers. Like,
yeah. Well, and then it like got confusing too because I want to say a year or two ago, like AT&T was advertising their parts of their network as being 5G when really it was actually, by all scientific terminology, it was 4G. But they were, for some reason, they were branding it. They were branding it as AT&T 5G when, as far as the actual spec for it goes, it was not. So there is confusing things like that going on too.
Well, that's what I was going to say. At a certain point in time, like it just becomes a marketing tool, and it's like, is it? Well, even, and yeah, it's just
that is a big part of it. But it's also one of those marketing tools that everyone does it. Right. So like, there's that very brief like in between period when people are switching and moving things, but. All right, once that year or two goes by, then everyone's on it. Like, and it's just the standard now.
Right. So you said underrated?
I said it's underrated. Okay. Yeah. Fast internet's good for everyone.
Yep. Last topic of the day. Overrated or underrated lawn darts?
Lawn darts. Wait.
No, I'm not saying darts? Not beer darts, lawn darts.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was thinking beer darts right away. Yeah. Okay. So for people that aren't familiar with beer darts, that's
going to be the bonus topic is beer darts.
Okay. So beer darts is the game where you get a group of friends and you sit in a circle outside. You put a can of beer in front of you. You throw metal tipped darts, and there's a few different rules. If you hit the dart on the top of the can, a lot of rules are you drink the entire beer. Otherwise, it's wherever the dart hits, you drink down to that spot. If it's within The rule we've played in the past is if it's within 2 fingers of the bottom,
You drink the whole
you
beer.
just drink the whole thing. Yeah. So that would be beer darts.
a
Great way to
bit of a
sit around.
dangerous game because you sit with your feet on each side of. You put the can between your feet. Kind of is.
I've done that in places. Also, some people don't play it that way too. But I have seen darts go into knees before. Like that's not totally unheard of. It's a great way to go through many, many cases of beer, like in a hurry.
And
like,
you usually play it like in the daylight, like during the middle of the. I feel like you play that during the day when you're drinking.
Yeah,
beer
it's
during the day.
a very classic like day drinking game. We
Yes.
got nothing going on. Like let's see how many cases of stones we can put down, or like 30 racks of Busch Light. Like you really find out how watery those beers are and how fast you can just go through them. But that would be beer darts. It's as far as drinking games go, I'm not sure if that's overrated or underrated. I feel like people like to hype that one up, and very few people really want to sit down and play that for like an hour on end.
Right.
So that one I'm on the fence on the moment. But lawn darts, I've maybe played lawn darts once in my life, and it was long enough ago that I don't even really remember. Does someone throw like one dart and then you like or is there a target on the ground?
There's a ring hoop target on the ground.
Okay, and you're trying to make it in?
Yeah, I think so. But they were very dangerous, like very sharp.
Because they're like
darts.
heavy duty metal on those things, right?
Yeah, and they quit. They had to quit making lawn darts. Like you can buy like fake versions of it where it's not actually like darts anymore. But they had to quit making lawn darts because people were like, I didn't know if they got killed or seriously injured or what from lawn darts, but.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
But they were pretty dangerous.
But as far as being overrated or underrated, I mean, they're not rated very highly, so they probably are. By definition, they probably are underrated. I don't hear many people talking about them. So yeah, I think lawn darts are underrated.
Okay, and what did you decide on beer darts then?
Beer darts, the game is probably a little overrated. I think people do like to hype that one up more than they like to actually play it.
Yeah. That's pretty fair, I think. I think that's true on beer darts. It's like that's something you talk about, like, let's play beer darts, and then you're like,
and like if you played for 10 minutes, you didn't play beer darts. You chugged like a beer or two,
and then
you
didn't
play beer darts.
Yeah, and then it's like, I don't want to play anymore. Like I'm gonna.
Like that's like saying, I'm gonna let's play Monopoly, and you played for 10 minutes. Like, we played Monopoly. It's like, no, you didn't. You just started it.
Right.
It is funny enough though that just earlier this week, I was driving around town for something to do. It was a nice day, and drive by a house.
Was that a weather update?
yeah, that actually is a weather. This has been our nicest stretch of weather the entire year, without a doubt, for sure. But driving around, saw a group of people in a backyard, chairs in a circle, and a big pile of beer cans in the middle. Be very weird if they weren't playing beer darts.
Yeah.
So 'tis the season.
It is the season for beer darts. Okay, that's then to overrated, underrated then. Checking out our store is what I was thinking about talking about. We still have some tank tops left. There's a couple models that are pretty low on inventory, but we still have some out there that you could still live a #crispy boy summer. If you were really after the bench heavy tank top, you screwed up and you were too slow because there's almost none of those left.
That's basically gone.
Yeah, if you want the lift tank top, you may have screwed up and waited too long. There's a few of those left in some sizes. On the other three, the Blue Ribbon, the Yeah Buddy, and the Deadlifter, you still have a chance, but not even a great chance. If you wait another week, you could be SOL on those. But that's what people seem to be doing right now. Is people went big on the Crispy Boy Summer and bought up those tank tops. They're flying off the shelves.
Well, and is it really a Crispy Boy Summer if you're not telling the world on your shirt?
No, that's the problem. No, it's not. The other thing I was thinking is we've mentioned this because this podcast is going to come out on June 1st. So actually, I should mention we didn't really talk about this for sure, but I think what we're going to do is give away in honor of Crispy Boy Summer and in honor of us hopefully hitting 30,000 what do you call that? Instagram followers on
and
Instagram.
hopefully 200 podcast
Yes.
reviews too. This isn't the 200 podcast review prize.
No,
it's just an added benefit.
Yeah, this goes along with it. So yes, it's because of Crispy Boy Summer, because of 30,000 Instagram followers, and because of 200 5-star Apple Podcast reviews. We are going to give away 30 shirts over the month of June. We're going to give away one shirt every day for the entire month.
Every day?
Yeah, yes, and because it's
crazy,
right? Because it's Crispy Boy Summer, it's going to mostly be our Crispy Boy tea that you'll have a shot of winning. And I don't know if we've ironed out the full details of how you're going to enter that. You'll be able to check our Instagram by the time you're hearing this and figure that out. But I think it's going to be something like you have to comment on one of our posts for the day. Something like that'll get you entered. It will not be. Yeah, it will not be hard to enter.
So it's going to be a very low barrier for entry. Like
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, can you write a comment? All right, you're in the running.
Right. And the idea is we'll probably get a lot of our fairly loyal followers that will want to get involved with something like that. So, fun way for us to say thanks for everyone that's been following along, and we're giving away 30 shirts. That's a pretty big deal for a company like us that likes to charge what we do for the things we sell.
Yep. Just all that money. We're basically just giving money away.
So that's Crispy Boy Summer. We do have everything else on our store. Things are pretty well in stock right now. You can make sure to like us, subscribe to us on YouTube. The race for first comment doesn't ever end. But the biggest thing I was going to get to that we haven't probably already covered already is our podcast supporting member option. We did follow through, and now there are 3 potential levels of support that you can show. What are the 3 levels, Tommy? Now,
well, if you're a high roller, the most craziest level would be the lift short level.
And of course, the high roller level is the lift short level. There's no doubt about that. That makes perfect sense.
Then if you're a little more modest with your finances, we do have the LaCroix level available.
But still kind of fancy.
But still kind of fancy, yeah. You
just
are
like
a man of
LaCroix,
taste.
still kind of fancy.
Yep. Kind of is the key word.
Yeah.
And finally, if you want to be a baller on a budget,
we
now have the apple pie level available
Yes.
for a cool 99 cents. Not even a whole dollar. 99 cents can help you symbolically support the Massenomics podcast. And when I say symbolically, I mean financially.
Yeah. Symbolically through your wallet.
So get on that, people. People are already taking advantage of it.
Yeah.
And we really appreciate that and like it a lot.
Yeah, we do for sure. It's about as fun to see those come in as anything. You know, I still get excited for basically every order that ever comes in. Every order that ever comes in, it still makes me happy and like excites me. But when I see those, it's an extra level of like, oh, awesome. Someone's supporting the podcast. That's really cool.
Yep.
Yeah, so do that. Also, let's hear from today's sponsors one more time. Today's show is brought to you by Lifting Large. Lifting Large has set a new standard for customer service within the strength world. They have live website chat support and speedy email responses. Lifting Large is home of the Ground Lock Deadlift Slipper, and they are always in stock and ready to ship. Massenomics listeners, because you're so cool, can save 20% on any and all Lifting Large branded products by using our discount code MASS20 at checkout. Today's episode is also brought to you by Spud Inc. The goal of Spud Inc. Straps is to make products that support sports performance and help everyone achieve their training goals. They make products that last forever, won't bust your budget, and most importantly, leave no doubt about success when everything is on the line. Make sure to check them out online at spud-inc-straps.com. The show is also brought to you by Hybrid Performance Method. They're your one-stop shop for all things fitness and online coaching. Whether your goals are training-related, nutrition and body composition-related, or both, Hybrid has a program for you. With dedicated and experienced coaches in each strength and fitness discipline, you can rest assured that you're in the best hands possible. Because Massenomics listeners are so cool. Again, they got a discount code there at Hybrid, and it's MASS, M-A-S-S in all caps, and that'll save you 5% off any training or nutrition membership for the life of your membership. Today's show is also brought to you by our friends at Texas Power Bars. In 1980, Buddy Caps was on a mission to make the best bar possible, and the Texas Power Bar was born. It It was strong as a house, had the best knurling, and was maintenance-free. Hundreds of state, national, international, world, and Massenomics powerlifting records have been set and continue to be set and broken on the Texas Power Bar. To learn more about Texas Power Bars and to buy one of their legendary bars, visit TexasPowerBars.com. Tommy, where can they find you on Instagram?
You can find me at Tomahawk_D.
You can check me out at Tanner_Baird, but more importantly, make sure to follow Massenomics at Massenomics.
See ya.
Later.